Hello, I'm your host for tonight, Adam O'Reilly, on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Our first guest star tonight is Mr. Carr.
Hi, I'm Mr. Carr.
Do you have anything you'd like to say before we get started here today, Mr. Carr?
Well, I don't like to use sports analogies or anything, but as good as the putter you use.
Thank you, Mr. Carr. And now for the first $100 question. When was Henry David Thoreau born? Was it A, July 12, 1817, B, July 4th, 1776, C, December 7th, 1941, or D, September 11th, 2001?
Well, A, July 12th, 1817.
That is correct, Mr. Carr. Now for the $200 question. Question number 2. Henry David Thoreau was a member of what group? Was it A, the Mormons, B, the Whig Party, C, the Transcendentalists, or D, the Donner Party?
Well, the Mormons were a religious group that was started by Joseph Smith, and it can't be the Whig Party. And the Donner Party was a group of people who suffered from taking what was thought to be a shortcut when immigrating to California. So therefore, the answer is C, the Transcendentalists. Final answer.
Mr. Carr, are you sure?
Of course.
Well, your answer is correct! Now for the $1,000 question. Question number 3. Why was Henry David Thoreau put in jail? Was it A, Thoreau was caught with counterfeit money, B, he was a slave that had escaped, C, he refused to pay his taxes, or D, Thoreau had stolen a wagon?
C, he refused to pay his taxes. He refused to pay his taxes because he did not want his taxes going to the Mexican-American War as well as slavery. Henry David Thoreau was supposed to remain in jail until he paid his debt, but was released after only one night in jail. This is because his family, without his consent, had paid off the debt so he could be released.
Is that your final answer, Mr. Carr?
Yes, it is.
You are correct again! Next up is the $50,000 question. Question number 4. Henry David Thoreau wrote what famous and influential essay as a response to his imprisonment? Was it A, Walden, B, Journals, C, A Week on the Concord and Merrimack Rivers, or D, Civil Disobedience?
I think I'm going to need a lifeline. I want to phone a friend.
Who are you going to call, Mr. Carr?
I think Tony Dungy would know the answer. Let's call him. Hello, Tony Dungy?
Yeah, hi, it's me.
What famous and influential essay did Henry David Thoreau write as a response to his imprisonment?
Yeah, I think that was civil disobedience last time I thought about it, or about anything.
Thanks, man. By the way, the Colts need you, Peyton needs you, and the team needs you. You should retire. Tony Dungy hung up on me. Anyways, D, civil disobedience. Final answer. This essay is known to have influenced great political giants such as Mohandas Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr.
Good job, Mr. Carr. You're on a roll, man. Remember that you have 2 lifelines left.
Okay.
Now for the $100,000 question. Question number 5. What did Henry David Thoreau write about in his essay Civil Disobedience? Was it A, flowers, unicorns, and puppies, B, nature and the world around him, C, pencil making and surveying, or D, the unjust treatment he received from the government?
Okay.
Well, the answer is D, the unjust treatment he received from the government, though Henry David Thoreau had been known to have helped his father in the pen-making business. He helped make pencils and graphite. However, later he soon developed a skill as a surveyor. Thoreau even taught at a private school alongside his brother John. He had 3 brothers and sisters and had a U.S. postage stamp in his honor.
Are you your final answer?
That is my final answer.
Alright, that is correct, Mr. Carr, once again. Now time for the $500,000 question. Question number 6. What is a poll tax? Is it A, a tax on polls, B, a tax on food, C, a tax on imported goods, or D, a capital tax?
D, a capital tax. Final answer. It is a tax levied equally on all adults within a community.
That is once again correct, Mr. Carr. Next, the $750,000 question. Are you ready?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, now, what was Thoreau's education? Was it A, basic schooling, B, Concord Academy and Harvard, C, basic schooling but never finished college, or D, attended a private school but never went to college?
Well, B. Concord Academy in Harvard. Mr. Thoreau grew up in Concord, Massachusetts. Though his family was poor, they had enough money to send him to Concord Academy. And though he was an average student, he was able to eventually make it into Harvard. In 1837, he graduated. Mr. Thoreau died May 6, 1862. His cause of death was tuberculosis. He is remembered today as a philosopher, writer, and ecologist. He had a passion for nature and the outdoors. Henry David Thoreau was never married, and he has been remembered for his classic book, Walden.
Well, that was a mouthful, Mr. Carr. Now for the $1 million question. Are you ready, Mr. Carr?
Ready, Freddy!
Now listen closely. Question number 8 for the $1 million.
Uh-oh.
Who has the best video for her learning contract? Is it A, Jenna Ruhile, B, Jenna Ruhile, C, Jenna Ruhile, or D, Jenna Ruhile?
I'm gonna have to say all of the above.
Is that your final answer, Mr. Carr?
Yes, it is.
What are you doing? We're on question number 1, not number 2.
Oh,
God.
I quit.
hi, I'm Mr. Carr.
Do you have anything you'd like to say before we get started here today, Mr. Carr?
I'm gonna be my favorite.
Okay.